Alright, so this is my homemade carpet archery target. And this costs me no money to make. I had all the materials lying around home. Basically, if you have some scrap wood, some an old carpet, and a couple of pipe clamps, you can pretty much do this yourself. So it's 18 inches tall by about 17-18 inches wide also. What I've been doing is just taking a piece of cardboard, just cutting it to size, and just putting it right over like that, putting it in with a few staples. So that's been working good. I'd say total time to make this was probably a day. It is kind of time extensive because the main part is just cutting the carpet. That takes a long time. So, but as long as you have the right materials and the will to do it, it's really not that hard. Okay, so the first thing you gotta do is cut your strips of cardboard or your strips of carpet to whatever size and depth you want them. I have like I can't remember. I think it was like a foot and a half depth, which is proved to be more than enough to stop the arrow in time before it hits the back. So you can make it as deep as you want, but just know that the deeper you make it, the more carpet you're gonna need. And I was actually really surprised about how small this gets when you compress it. So you're really gonna need quite a bit of carpet. I had probably close to 4 or 5 just smaller rugs, but if you have a big rug like a living room rug that you're getting rid of, that'll probably do it. But I just kind of had to mix and match a bunch of old rugs I had. But okay, so you have to cut them up, stack them how you want them, make sure they're perfectly straight, perfectly flush, well as flush as you can get them in the front. I think I pretty much got it pretty good. And then you want to cut a top piece of wood and a bottom piece of wood, same size, to fit the width of it equally. And then what I did was I put it up on concrete blocks, so there was a gap. So I had a concrete block here and a concrete block here on the bottom, and there's a gap in between. And what I did was I put a pipe clamp here and a pipe clamp back there, 2 pipe clamps, and squeeze this as tight as I could. And this is pretty, this is a screwdriver, but it's pretty tight, so your arrow's gonna get stuck pretty easily. Then what you gotta do is, while it's clamped shut, you want to measure the height of each side. I would do each side separately because they tend to be different. So I had to use 2 pieces here, but if you have a piece wide enough, you can obviously just use 1. But so while it's clamped down, measure it, cut the wood, screw it in. I would use quite a bit of screws. I use 5 screws top, 5 screws bottom, just because the amount of pressure when you release those pipe clamps, it's gonna want to raise back up, so you want to make sure you have enough screws in there to hold it down. And I did the same thing on the other side. So once I did that, you release the pipe clamps. That should stay put. Alright, so now you're onto the back, and at this point this piece of plywood will not be here. This will just be open like the front is. So basically what I did was, on purpose, I left a gap in between. So basically the carpet goes from the front to about here, so there's a gap of wood right there, and I did that on purpose, so just in case that the arrows would go through all the way, what I did was I stacked a bunch of pieces of cardboard cut to fit that square opening, stacked a bunch of pieces of cardboard there really tightly, and then basically put this cut piece of plywood on there, sat on it, and screwed it in. So basically the arrows come through and go all the way through. They're not going to just straight hit the plywood in the back. They're going to get dampened by the cardboard right there. So I figured that'd probably be a good thing to do. I mean, obviously you have to use field points with this target, because obviously a broadhead would get stuck immediately. But so that's basically what you need to do. I mean, this doesn't look the greatest, but it does its job. And this thing is heavy duty. I mean, I just weighed it, and it weighs like 65 pounds. So this is no like pansy target. This is heavy duty. So I don't know if some people prefer foam or what, but I think for your money, save you 50, 60 bucks. You know, if you're willing to take some time to do it, save you a lot of money, and it's a good target. So, and also you can you know, you can switch up all your what you want to shoot. So I got just, you know, the normal dot target, and I made a couple deer vital targets. So I mean, you can really just, as long as you got some cardboard, you can switch it up however you want. So, and all you need to do is put it over there, put a couple of, use a staple gun, staple it in, you know, 4, 5, 6 times on the sides, and you'll be all set. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope this helps you make your own. It's a really good thing to do, really fun. So, good luck. Alright, well, I was going to do a demonstration on how well it works with my bow, but my compound's in the pro shop right now. So, but what I do have is a stick with a string tied to it that I used when I made a bow trap a while ago. So, just to get the gist of it, I'm going to see if this will work.